You want to know two books that I think everybody should read at the beginning of the year? I'm in the process right now of actually setting on my bookshelf, but kind of made me think about, these two books right here, which one is Managing Oneself and the other is Find Your Why. I had heard about this one from Ty Lopez, checked it out, and I was like, wow, this is a super small book. I didn't know if it was going to be valuable. And then this one, I had heard of Start Your Why by Simon Sinek, which if you've never heard of that, make sure you check out the YouTube video. If you're watching this on YouTube, I'll link the description. But I went to go find a book at the library. They didn't have it, and this was kind of like where it would be. So I decided to check it out, and this made a crazy impact on my life. This book right here, Managing Oneself, is all about how to figure out where you belong. So it talks about how do you work? Are you a reader? Are you a writer? Do you like to take notes? Do you like to watch videos? Are you somebody that listen to podcasts? Do you read books? Should you read physical books? Should you read them on like a Kindle? Should you listen to audio? It's all about how do you learn. Then talks about your strengths. So what are you actually good at? He actually says a lot of people don't know actually what they are in fact good at, and it's hard to perform if we don't know what we're good at. He also talks about our values. Now, values aren't like ethics. It's not like I value like honesty and I value not stealing. He's talking about more of like the way that you prefer to do things. So let's say a value could be vacation time. Not everybody values that. Other people could value, money. So if you're taking a job right now where it's like you get, let's say 1 week of vacation, but you'd rather spend more time with your family, that's probably not a situation that, is going to benefit you and allow you to perform and allow you to be happy because the values don't line up. And so there's a lot of different things he talks about in this. It's basically like a guide. I like reading it at the beginning of the year because it lets you align yourself with where you're at now and where you should be in the future. And this book right here, Find Your Why, such a powerful book. I like it because it helps you discover like your life purpose. So a lot of the times we have all these thoughts in our head where we're like, this is what I like to do. This is what I might want to do, but maybe I don't know how to say it and I don't know what direction I should go. This is a great book. It looks thick, but it's not like a book that you just read like start to finish and it's like a story or like you're trying to get from point A to point B. It's more so like a guide. I think it's called Start With Why is more like a book like that. It's more like your traditional self-help books like this. It's traditional like that. This is more of like a guide. It's gives you like steps to do and activities to do. That way you can discover, more of your purpose. And when I did this, like this really changed my life. This is how I started my company, Undeterred LLC. This is how now I'm able to do the things that I'm doing. And I've realized that for me personally, what I like to do is help people who were once in the same situation I was, which was, questioning, not necessarily myself, but trying to figure out my place in life, trying to overcome obstacles, trying to overcome, my past and trying to be who I wanted to be, despite what happened to me, the trauma that I faced, the dark times I faced. I want to help those types of people and give back to them. And so all the stuff that you typically see me do in one way, shape, or form is to fit that purpose. So I feel like for every person, this is a great book to read. You'll start to realize like we only have one life and you need to serve it. You need to live it in a way that's making yourself feel fulfilled, but also, serving others in some way, type of form. So want to come on here as I get ready to put these books back there and just say, these two books right here, I think almost anyone, or I think everybody should read these at one point in time in their life. But I think these books are something that you should read at the beginning of, every year, not necessarily every year, but at the very beginning of the year, as soon as you can, if you haven't read them before. This Find Your Why isn't something you need to read all the time, but this is so small you could read at the beginning of every year just to make sure you're on the right track. This actually, was this actually is part of my book club, my 2020 book club. And so if you're looking for summaries of this book without having to read it, and if you're looking for the guide, like I said, to figuring out your values, figuring out where you belong, figuring out your strengths, I actually have one of those, so I'll link it in the description. You can download that for free. Want to help as many people as possible. And so those are the two books, like I said, Find Your Way, Managing Oneself, that I think you should read at the very beginning of the year.